you've made it most of the way through this course and decided you're ready for composable commerce. If this is a new project, that's easy. Just start building. But for most companies, they already have a solution in place. Ditching that monolithic system feels like a massive project, and in full transparency, it can be. So you have three choices. Take a big bang approach, replace everything all at once. Try to swallow the elephant. 2, give up. It's always easier to just do nothing. Of course, this is also a great way to left behind and possibly go out of business. Or 3, make the change one small piece at a time. Let the old system evolve by swapping out parts until it's fully composable. This is called the Strangler Pattern. Why is it called the Strangler Pattern? It's inspired by a type of tree, the Strangler fig trees to be specific. They actually plant seeds in the upper branches of other trees. Then they work their way down to the ground. Over time, they replace the old tree until only the fig tree remains. So why do we recommend the Strangler approach? From start to finish, a Strangler approach actually takes more time. However, this is the only drawback. First, it's about removing that all or nothing risk. A big bang replacement bets everything on that one final release. Instead, we break apart this huge project into manageable pieces. We start replacing, testing, and deploying in small chunks. Each tweak is nimble, easy to roll back, and a minor hiccup rather than a system meltdown if something goes wrong. The fact is, you're already going to break the project up into multiple epics, sprints, and stories to make it manageable. The difference here is that those pieces will be deployed into production as they are completed. You also have the benefit of deploying code immediately, meaning you'll only have to maintain a single project. With a big bang, you need to continue patching and fixing the old system while the new system is built. This can cause huge project delays as requirements change, and you end up applying those changes twice. Once to the existing system, and once to the new system being developed. Instead, with the Strangler pattern, your code stays fresh, your team stays engaged, and your focus isn't lost in a black hole of never-ending development. Best of all, with the Strangler approach, you can tackle the pieces with the largest impact first. Does your website often crash? Replace the high-traffic pages like search and PLPs to reduce load. Need a better promotions engine? Swap out the cart. It's all about getting real, tangible improvements in weeks, not months. Showing value in the investment early helps the business grow faster and demonstrates the importance of this project. It's all about getting quick wins, maintaining momentum, and making the process a journey, not a slog. This all sounds great, but now we need to determine how to go about this process and outline the basic steps. For those with aging systems, wrapping our hands around the code and giving a tight squeeze sounds cathartic, but we need to be honest. Strangling a monolith can be complex. Extensive planning with an experienced architect, setting up a strong development foundation, and determining which features to start with all take time and experience. But don't worry, in the end, taking this approach is worth it. Here are the steps for the Strangler pattern. First, probe your monolith. Can it play nice with new systems? What are the integration points and access patterns you can leverage? Next, map out the capabilities of your existing system, then determining which ones need to be recreated. Once you have those selected, take a deep dive, mapping out the data, logic, and user-facing components. Now, plan your attack. Decide how each piece will be replaced. Rebuild the functionality in a more modern style. Finally, redirect the users to the new service. Now, let's break down each step of the process. To determine if new systems can be integrated with a monolith, ask yourself the following questions. Does the company have developers experienced with the legacy code who are confident in making structural changes? Does the monolith allow for code changes, and will those changes significantly impact the project timeline and release cycle? Does the monolith provide points of integration, including REST APIs where required? So what if you can't integrate your monolith with new systems? Well, if you answered no to any of those earlier questions, and the monolith can't be adjusted, a common solution is to wrap the monolith with a proxy layer. This proxy layer can be seen as an API gateway and allows your older system to communicate with the newer systems. Think of this API gateway as an adapter layer. For example, when traveling, you may use a plug adapter to use electronics in a foreign country. That adapter allows your device to connect to a foreign outlet. Similarly, the proxy layer or API gateway allows newer systems to connect to your legacy software. To effectively integrate new services, you need a comprehensive list of your monolith's business capabilities. What does the system do today that is actively being used? Once you have this list, you'll know which pieces need to be strangled off. This is a good time to work with the business and determine priority. They may have specific pain points that can be addressed early in the project. For example, if the website is being slow or crashes during large campaigns, we should start by replacing high traffic pages, removing load from the existing older system. Or if the current payment processor has high fees, beginning with checkout may be the best approach. Since we are breaking the project up into smaller pieces that will be deployed and delivered over time, we can adjust the order to create functionality wins or cost savings earlier in the project. Here are some common capabilities e-commerce systems include: promotions, carts, accounts, orders, payments, search and navigation, CMS or DXP, and a website storefront or maybe mobile app or other UIs. All right, on to the next step, defining the boundaries for each capability. In essence, this process involves understanding how to segment your capabilities into distinct, separate components within your code. Now, the real challenge lies in grasping how the service is integrated into your system. Are there other services that rely on it? Is it pulling data from a shared database? Missing out on these details can lead to potential hiccups, so it's crucial to investigate thoroughly. Take, for instance, a power strip filled with multiple tangled cords. It might not be instantly clear which device each cord corresponds to. Similarly, with a monolithic system, understanding the interdependence of capabilities can be quite complex. It's often a tangled mess. Yes, it's a process that can take some time, but the key is to not rush. It's essential to map out the databases your capability interacts with and the other capabilities it's associated with. That's how you can ensure a safe transition without any unforeseen disruptions. Let's proceed with caution and diligence as we continue our journey. All right, with your business capabilities all neatly packed into modular components, it's time to start planning the migration. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all when it comes to replacing components. It's all about your current system capabilities, how flexible they are for modifications, and what's going to serve up the biggest business impact. Choosing the order of functionality to replace can be a bit like a strategic game of chess. Different approaches can be used depending on what your business needs. Let's walk through a few strategies. One way is to integrate the new or replaced functionality directly into your existing monolith. Think of it as adding a cool new gadget to your tech stack. For instance, swapping out your standard search bar for a powerful API-first advanced search feature. Though it can offer quick business value, be mindful that in the long run, it'll generate the most code that'll eventually be thrown away. Another tactic is to let the existing system play a supportive role. This approach is your go-to if you have major pain points that need to be addressed. For example, an existing system that can't handle current traffic demands. In this scenario, your monolith still acts as the source of truth for your data and business operations remain undisturbed until you're closer to completion. Here, data gets synced between the monolith and your new composable solution. The new system can handle customer requests, taking over the burden of traffic, and offering a more performant and intuitive experience. Then hands the resulting data back to the monolith for any integrations. Employees follow the same workflow and process, while customers receive the new experience, often increasing conversion rate and satisfaction. This method, however, hinges on your monolith having proper API endpoints for data syncing. Last, consider wrapping both systems with an API gateway that smartly routes traffic. This strategy grants you maximum control over the transition, and it's the simplest way to test and roll back. For instance, direct homepage and product browsing to your new system, while the shopping cart and account functionalities stick with the monolith. Gradually, each website section can make the switch from the monolith to the new solution. This is particularly useful for website interfaces, mobile apps, or other UI touchpoints. We know what needs to be built, how we're going to build it, so the next step is to start building. This can be writing code, deploying services, or simply configuring integrations and leveraging no-code tools. We'll be offering dedicated courses on this topic in the near future, but for now, you can find more information at elasticpath.dev. This is the final step, making the final cutover from the old system to the new composable solution. Launch day often comes with massive risk and fear around what could go wrong or any of the bugs that were missed. Since this is being handled one feature at a time, the potential issues are mitigated to this single capability. You only need to monitor and track the single service. Best of all, keeping both systems running gives a clear approach to rollbacks if necessary. We've also seen businesses have success with stage rollouts, moving a percentage of traffic over time. This mitigates even more of the risk by only exposing a small percentage of users while correcting any issues. This also provides a perfect opportunity to measure the results. It's a built-in A/B test, being able to demonstrate the final impact. Wrapping up, starting small will ensure the groundwork has been covered while minimizing risk in each release. Your first release will focus on building the foundation for a modern cloud-native and composable design. Yes, taking on this project demands serious planning, but incremental improvements provides the best value for your business and experience for your customers.